Without realizing, we use fractions several times in our daily life. As we say, half a kg of fruits, two-thirds of water, one-fourth chapati, etc. We also use fractions to represent time. For example, half, quarter to, quarter past, etc. Let's understand what fractions are. Today is Manav's birthday. He has invited Tina, Babita, Rahul, and Dinesh to his house. There is one whole cake, but it has to be shared among 5 friends. Can you tell me how many pieces the cake should be divided into so that everyone gets a piece? Think for a while. Absolutely correct. The cake has to be divided into 5 pieces. This is one way of dividing the cake into 5 pieces. But this is not the correct way. By doing so, all the children will not get equal parts. What can be done to solve this problem? Yes, you're right. All parts of the cake should be equal. Therefore, the whole cake should be divided into 5 equal parts. After distribution, Manav kept one piece aside. As it is one of the 5 equal parts, it can be represented like this and read as 1/5 or 1/5. A number which represents the part of a whole is called a fraction. If we keep one more piece on the plate, then the number of pieces becomes 2. Since there are 2 pieces out of 5, these 2 parts form the fraction 2/5 of the whole cake. When we talk about any fraction, for example, 2/5 here, then the line separating two numbers is called division line or by. Can you tell what does the number written below the division line represent? Think for a while. You've got it right. This represents the number of equal parts the whole is divided into. The number of equal parts to which a whole is divided into is called the denominator. The number of parts that are taken aside is represented above the division bar. Therefore, the number of parts that has been considered from all equal parts is called the numerator. In a fraction, the numerator is written above the division bar and the denominator is written below. It is not always necessary that a fraction represents a part of the whole thing. We can also use it for representing a part of a group. See here. There are 4 apples and 3 oranges. Therefore, the total number of fruits here is 7. If we have to find the fraction of apples in the total number of fruits, then how do we do it? Let me explain. Since the total number of fruits is 7, the denominator is 7, and we're considering 4 apples of them, therefore the numerator is 4. Thus, the fraction of apples among this group of fruits is 4/7. Similarly, can you find the fraction of oranges in this group? You've got it right. Here, there are 3 oranges among the group of 7 fruits. Therefore, the fraction for oranges here is 3/7. Let us see some fractions. This is 1/2 or 1/2. This is 1/3 or 1/3. This is 2/3 or 2/3. This is 1/4 or 1/4. This is 2/4 or 2/4. This is 3/4 or 3/4. This is 1/5 or 1/5. This is 2/5 or 2/5. This is 3/5 or 3/5. This is 4/5 or 4/5. I hope you have understood the concept of fractions. Today, we have learnt about what fractions are and how to read them. In the next video, write the fraction representing the shaded portion in each figure. In this example, fractions are represented as shaded parts. Let's identify them. You already know that fraction is a number representing part of a whole. Therefore, the fraction of shaded part is number of shaded parts by the total number of parts. In the first picture, number of shaded parts are 6. and the total number of parts is 8. Therefore, the fraction for shaded parts is expressed as 6 by 8. In the second picture, number of shaded parts is 11 and the total number of parts is 15. Therefore, the fraction is 11 by 15. In the third picture, there is a collection of 9 objects. Out of them, 5 objects are shaded. Can you tell which portion of the collection is shaded? Think for a while. You've got it right. Here, the group is divided into 9 equal parts and of them 5 parts are shaded. Therefore, the fraction is written as 5 by 9. Example 2. Shade the 2/5 part of the figure below. In this example, we have to shade 2/5 part. In the fraction 2 by 5, the denominator is 5. It represents that the given thing should be divided into 5 equal parts. Similarly, in this fraction, the numerator is 2. It represents that the 2 portions should be shaded. You can see that this whole figure is divided into 5 equal parts. Therefore, to represent 2 by 5, we have to shade any 2 parts of these 5 parts. This could be done in several ways. In each possibility, 2/5 portion is shaded. Example 3. Deepu has bought 5 oranges, 3 pomegranates and 2 apples. Out of the total number of fruits, find the fraction of oranges. Deepu has bought 5 oranges, 3 pomegranates and 2 apples. Here, the total number of fruits are 5 plus 3 plus 2, that is 10. Of these 10 fruits, 5 are oranges. Therefore, the denominator is 10 and the numerator is 5. By doing so, the fraction we get is 5 by 10. Today, we have learned some examples of fractions. In the next video, we will see some misconceptions related to it. Mistakes related to fractions. Misconception 1. What will be the fraction to represent the shaded part in the given figure? Sometimes, while representing a fraction, it is understood that the numerator corresponds to the number of shaded parts of the figure and the denominator corresponds to the remaining part that is not shaded. By doing so, the fraction is represented as part by part. This is a misunderstanding. It leads to the incorrect answer, option 1. It is important to understand that denominator corresponds to the total number of equal parts of a whole. In this case, 5 is the denominator. Similarly, numerator is the number of parts taken. Here, number of shaded parts is 2. This means 2 out of total 5 parts are considered. Therefore, the numerator is 2. In this figure, shaded part is represented by this fraction, that is 2 by 5. So option 2 is the correct answer. Now let's understand some common mistakes related to fractions. If you're asked to find the fraction representing the shaded part in this figure, the total number of parts is written as the denominator and the number of shaded parts is represented as numerator. Thus, it results in an incorrect answer 1 by 4. To represent in fraction, first of all it is necessary to check whether all the parts are equal or not. Here, parts are not equal. Therefore, we cannot represent the shaded part as a fraction. Sometimes, it is not understood correctly that equal parts can be formed in different ways. For example, if you have 4 papers and you divide them into 2 equal parts, then how will you do it? Think for a while. Let me tell you. One way is to keep 2 out of 4 papers in each section. It will result in 2 equal parts. Another way is to cut each paper into 2 equal parts by using different ways. When you keep a half in each section, you will still get 2 equal parts of 4 papers. Similarly, there could be many ways to divide the papers, but we get 2 equal parts in all the cases. Today, we have seen some misconceptions and common mistakes related to